investments and things like that. So, well, you can't invest in this one particular type of investment. There were lottery bonds. Do you think the government of the state of Nebraska is not going to pay off their lottery bond? It's a state government lottery bond. They have a lottery, they're going to pay off that lottery bond. We invested those to get a higher yield in our insurance company. Now we can't do that. So it means we're going to earn less. It means our insurance company's going to earn less. Our shareholders are going to earn less. But again, just hyper regulatory, government intrusive type things. EPA regs, we talked about, some of you I talked about the folks that had the coal mine over in Photo that won the award for the best reclamation project. The federal government came in next year and said, you didn't do it good enough. We're going to fine you $2.8 million. Again, government has gotten out of control. The new EPA regs are going to add almost a full dollar to the price of a gallon of gas. That was the estimation I saw from John Sullivan's office. And then finally, right-size government to its original functions. The only way you do that is putting some sort of mechanism in where something dies. You know, the problem is politicians come and go, but their programs live forever. If I go up there and serve, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, whatever, then when I leave, all those programs, they need to die. I mean, they need to die if we've got a duplication somewhere. They need to die if it's not, if we've got a duplication, obviously, in state government, federal government. They also need to die if we can't afford it. And we're in a situation right now where we can't afford all those programs. We cannot be everything to everybody. Even though in an ideal world, that's great, but we can't afford it. We need a government we can afford. So, and that's the last slide, so I'd be happy to answer any questions. I know that's pretty intensive, and I guess we could turn the lights back on. But obviously, it's part of the reason that I'm running is the financial side of things. Turn this off here. But
is that covered in sand?
what's that?
Is that covered in sand?
Oh, I'm sure it probably is. That's actually in Hawaii. I've only been out there one time. We went out for our 15th wedding anniversary. So, but no, I mean, there's a lot of programs that are good programs. I've always said it's just kind of like pulling weeds out of your grass. You go out and pull the weeds out, the grass grows back thicker, you have a healthier standing grass, it lives through the drought and all those sorts of things. We've got some programs up there we could end, then there would be money for Social Security, then there would be money for our money. The cuts that are going through right now, because these mandatory cuts, we're cutting our military by 25%. 25%. At the end of World War II, our GDP, our military spending was 38% of our gross domestic product. Today it's at 4%. With Obama's cuts, it's going to go to 3%. We're cutting our military that much, and then asking them to do more. So I don't think those cuts are justified, but then you've got programs like the unincome tax credit, and these deals where you give people cell phones, and you've seen all those sorts of things. It's just gotten ridiculous. Sir, do you have a question?
Yeah. Now you go to Congress, right? How can you as one person do anything?
Good point. And one of the things, when I went up there...
Stacked against you?
No, not necessarily. I mean, it can be. Of course, I do know Paul Ryan, who is our budget chair. Paul actually married Dan Little's daughter from Medill. So he's married to an Oklahoma girl, so he's got an Oklahoma tie. And when I went to file here a few months ago, I went in and talked to Paul, and I said, look, if I get elected, will you put me on financial services? And he said, Wayne, you realize, and I already did know this, but when I went up there in January, you're the only person with an insurance background that's ever sold a health insurance policy that's running for Congress nationwide. He said, I'll put you on the committee that drafts the alternative, the free market alternative to Obamacare. So, I mean, is that a promise? No, but I'll tell you what, the only people on that, there's 7 people on that committee right now, they're all doctors. There's nobody from the insurance sector on that committee, so I feel like I would get an appointment to that committee, which would have immediate impact. Only 14% of congressmen have any type of financial background, so I think I would also probably get a chance to get on the budget committee. The one thing that, and the reason I really decided to run, because Don knows this, I've had my business, we moved back really to get ready to retire. I do have some of this gray. But the point being is, I looked at this and thought, didn't see anybody with a financial background. And I didn't see anybody else other than one other guy that was running that had any legislative experience. And he has 5 years, I have 10 years. By the time we have the election, he'll have 6 and I'll still have 10, because I'm not adding anything. But the point was I thought, well, you need legislative experience, you need financial experience, but you also need the business experience. So I think I would be able to hit the ground running a little quicker. That's not to say anybody else that's running is a bad candidate. I just would say that, you know, who's going to be able to make the most immediate impact as quickly as you can when you go up there. And, you know, obviously my wife and I had a long discussion about this, and she said, honey, this is really going to screw us up, but you probably need to run. And I can't know that I disagree with that. You know, the point is it's about our country. Do we sit back and let our best people do nothing and let this happen? I just don't see that occurring. But no, that's a valid question. You are one out of 536, counting the president. So I would hope I would have a better chance than anyone else that we have in there. Just so.
Do you see a need, the way I look at things myself, do you see a need in restricting immigration?
Restricting immigration?
Yeah.
No, what I would tell you we need a guest worker program where people come into this country, they're monitored because they're not a citizen, they don't vote, they don't get welfare benefits, they don't get any of our entitlements. They pay a portion of their check, let's say 15%, into a separate fund for their health care. Not into, you know, any of our programs, but that money goes into a separate fund for their health care. If we run out of that, then we dock them the next check. Kind of like you, if someone hasn't taken out enough money for the insurance or something like that. But the point being is, you're not going to take money from our programs for our people that are citizens of this nation, and we're not going to bestow upon you citizenship, which I think grants a lot more than just those sorts of things. But yeah, I mean, you got a situation up in Miami, Oklahoma. You have a ton of people, about 300, that are not citizens that are here. Most of them are not from Mexico, they're from the Micronesian area. And some of those, about half of them, I think, are here legally as guest workers. They're doing it right. But there's about half of them that are here not. And it's the half that are not here legally that I have the problem. Go back, come back in here legally, and let's craft a specific policy for you that doesn't take away from our programs, but sets up a program for you and you pay the cost of it. Does that
The way I look at it, instead of the working program or whatever, if we would take and require the welfare recipients to take these jobs that these immigrant people are coming in here taking, instead of letting the welfare people sitting on their dead rears and receiving nothing. That's really people, you can't get them to go to work because they're making more money in welfare than they can make, you know, making a working for it.
No, and I was
But if you require them to work, okay, we're gonna give you money, we're gonna help you, whatever, but you're gonna do some work to provide for yourself.
I was the author in 95 of our welfare reform bill, and the main pretense of that bill was 3 things. We pretty much did away with cash assistance. We didn't do away with it, but we froze it. There has not been an increase in cash assistance since 1995 in Oklahoma. That's why we pay like $293, and states like California pay $1,800, because we've never increased that. The folks that are up there now, we have Republican House, Republican Senate, and Republican Governor. I would hope that they just go ahead and do away with it. I had to pass my bill in a Democrat majority in the House and Senate. Did have a Republican governor that helped me get the bill through. But no, I agree with that. Our focus was to redirect, and we got away with, or we did away with the program that was in effect then, and we put in TANF. We put a 5-year limit on TANF, and then we also redirected all the other resources to education, child care, and health care. We're going to take care of your kids while you're getting education, and we're going to take care of your education. And that's basically all we're going to do.
Sure.
And that's what our system's designed to do now. Now, it needs some tweaking, because what happens, government grows back. You know, that's the
One
problem.
of the things that really chatted me here a while back, I just had to be down where my son worked as a mechanic. And they put a transmission in the car. And the wheels are paid for it.
I heard that one. I've heard about the cell phones. The cell phones one bugs me.
Yeah.
I have no problem with putting a
My
phone
transmission goes
for
bad,
someone
I've
to
got-
call